Trey, just kind of talk about getting that news today. How, what's kind of your thoughts on it?
You know, it was a rough day for everybody. You know, it was tough. You know, it's going to be a lot of tear shakes. You know, there's a lot of relationships, you know, that maybe were on hold or come to an end today. But, you know, I have nothing negative to say about Coach Chizik because, you know, he's done a lot for me and for this program. And that's who I was recruited by. You know, I wish him the best of luck in his future.
You said all season that you were all in. Do you think the team ever quit at all on this year?
No, I don't think anyone quit. You know, because we all, even if we weren't able to go to a bowl game or anywhere else far, you know, we all have our personal goals. And I'm pretty sure some people just met their personal goals and stuff. But, you know, football is another way, you know, to make a lot of money one day and support your own family. So I'm pretty sure no one really quit, because that would mean they would quit on their families and other people.
Trey, it's a lot of coaches that are not going to be here. I mean, what can you say about the relationships you built with other coaches besides Chizik?
You know, I had a great relationship with all the coaches, even on the defensive side of the ball. You know, Coach Pell and, you know, Coach Martinez from Florida. And, you know, they're just cool guys. They're really good people. And I wish them the best luck in their future also.
This program had a lot of success the last few years on the spread. There was a switch to the pro style. Which one fits you better, or which one fits the guys who are going to be around next year better?
You know, I feel like I'm very versatile. You know, the offense that I'm placed in, you know, I continue to make plays in any offense. You know, I just try to make plays wherever I'm placed. But, you know, we'll see how it goes from here on out.
Trey, can you talk about what you guys need to do to get back where you normally are here at Auburn?
You know, for a lot of guys to stick together, you know, continue to be a family, because, you know, that's not going to change. You know, if we stick together, we feel like we have the pieces of the puzzle. All we need to do is put it together.
Trey, last night after the game, you guys were pretty universal in your support for Chizik, saying that you guys didn't want to get the staff. With this news today, I mean, obviously it's going to be tough to take. You'd expect everyone to remain all in?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to do my best to try to continue to keep everybody all in, you know, but it's going to be a tough day for a lot of people, you know. You never know where people's minds are, but, you know, I'm going to try to do my best to keep everybody all in.
How much of a challenge do you anticipate that being over the next week or so, how long it takes to get your coach from this?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a challenge because, you know, people's mind goes everywhere. You know, people are just going to be like, should I leave, should I stay, you know, but, you know, I'm pretty sure that people will probably stick together as a family.
Trey, did anybody else talk to you other than Coach Chizik today?
Yeah, you know, we broke up in our positional meetings. You know, we also had our talks there and just told everybody just, you know, that they're going to be successful. You know, just stay still, you know, don't make any changes just yet.
Is that what Coach Luper told you?
Yeah, you know, he's like my uncle. You know, I'll always be in touch with him. And even if he's here or not, you know, that's not my decision if he's going to be here or not. But, you know, I love him like he's my uncle.
Trey, the question I guess everybody's had, you know, all years, what happened? You got any thoughts as to, you know, what happened to lose the kind of season?
You know, I'm not really sure because I feel like we prepared every day at practice. I know I personally gave it my all at practice, so I'm not really sure what happened this year to make our results the way they are.
You talked about personal goals. What were your personal goals this season, and what are your personal disappointments?
You know, of course I wanted to get 1,000 yards. And, you know, you know, I couldn't do that alone without the other 10 guys around me on the field. But, you know, it's a rough year. It's just a rough year, and God works in miraculous ways. You know, He does everything for a reason.
Your final memory of Coach Chizik, obviously, being the last play last night, having him send you out to get that time. How much did that remain meaningful to you?
Yeah, it just shows you what type of guy he is. He's you know, stick to his word. You know, and he told me we're going to go ahead and get your 1,000 yards. And, you know, we went down to the final seconds of the game. You know, and everybody gave their all. You know, everybody's pushing me in my back. You know, trying to get those extra yards. But you know, Coach Chizik is a great guy, and I wish him the best of luck in his future.
When did he tell you that?
During the game, right in that last play, he was like, you know, go on the field and go get these couple yards for yourself.
Anything else for Trey?
What was the atmosphere like in the room earlier in the meeting?
You know, it's a lot. It's like a dead silence. You know, it's a lot of hearts broken. You know, feelings. You know, emotions everywhere. But you know, we're gonna stick together as a team.
Tears?
I haven't seen anybody cry, but you can tell by people's faces, especially that they're emotional.
Is there a lot, I don't know if anger is too strong a word, but just a lot of passion to get back when you look at Georgia, the way they manhandled you guys in Alabama yesterday? I mean, is there a lot of that going on right now?
Yeah, you know, but we're going to take it as motivation, you know, to get better. You know, the way we lost those games, you know, you got to come hard and fight back. You know, we're not going to take that lightly. You know, we're going to do whatever we can to get better, you know, change the outcome of the loss of this season.
As a player, what are you looking for in the next coach?
You know, a winning season. You know, we want, of course, we want to win. But you know, I have nothing negative to say about Coach Chiz. You know, there's nothing negative I can say about him. But you know, we'll see when he gets here.
When the coach gets in, what kind of team will he find when he gets here?
You know, he'll find all the players out of here that we want to work hard, we want to win games, and he has what it takes to win national championship.